Got a live picture. Hey. Okay, it's kind of weird. Screen's a little bit different today. Well, good morning. This is a 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. It says I'm in studio on YouTube. I don't know. I'm an engineer. What do I know? Anyway, hey, good morning. This is 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. YouTube's a little slow today. Doing some different things. I hit a different button. We'll see what it does. Anyway, I'm Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And it's the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show where we talk about Scrum and Agile topics in a practical and tactical way so that you can deliver value to your customer. Get home to, there's still dust in this house. Get home to family and friends. Have a little fun along the way. Excuse me. And not work 60, 80 hours a week, right? Should drink some water before I did this one. I'm going to lose my voice. It's terrible. Anyway. This is our 441st episode. How about this? Excuse me. And this is what you get for getting up early, not drinking enough water before you start. So my advice is when you get up, do all these shows, drink some water, make sure you're all hydrated before you start talking on TV or on live YouTube, right? Anyway, goofy me. So, what am I going to talk about today? Talk about a business analyst job interview and just some things to think out of the box. And everybody has to have all the answers, and you don't necessarily want to have all the answers when you're doing a business analyst job interview. But we'll talk about that in a second. And the other one is, it says it's 6 o'clock. So we just got in before the 6 o'clock hour. So that clock might be off by a little bit. I think we got on like 5:59. Status meetings on Mondays. My favorite topic, right? So, whatever. So first I want to talk about the BA interview questions, just to get that going, because most people will probably be more interested in how you do job interviews in this type of world, right? Everybody wants a new job, a better job, see what you can do. So I was talking to a business analyst friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about job interviews. And so I asked, well, what do you do when you get a question like, okay, I want to build a website. I want to build a web page. And here's our here's what we have, some requirements. We want to do this. Okay. Tell me how you go about writing a story for it. So many people go right into the as such and such, I want this, so that, right? Start writing a story, talk about the analysis, and start giving an answer right away. I want to propose a different way of answering the question with the question. And I also want to talk about these virtual things. So I'm going to do a little bit of both today about interviews. So my thing was, do you really start writing the story right away? He's like, what do you mean? I says, you're a business analyst. What do you do as a business analyst? What is the most part of your job? Think about it a little bit, and we both come to a conclusion, asking questions. I think it's a mistake for a business analyst to go in right away and show your knowledge. I think the business analyst should ask a question, because that's what you're supposed to do. You ask the stakeholders what they see. So even if they would hand you a statement of work, said, here's a statement of work, or here's a spec, go ahead, start drafting things up. Maybe the answer is not to start drafting stuff up. Maybe the question is, well, I got the statement of work. I would read it, check it out. But then I'd go to the stakeholders and ask them questions, see if there's anything that's not written in the statement of work. Is there other information that could help my development team be successful? Going on that message from the BA from Google saying my job is to make the development team successful. So Where I would see who was really a good BA would be someone who would ask more questions about the requirements, not necessarily take the requirement and write it into a user story format or do some. What questions would you ask as a BA? Because anybody can write stuff down. It's not that hard. The hard part are the questions where you show your expertise and your knowledge base is based on the questions you ask people and how you ask those questions, right? Do you go, hey, tell me this. I need to know what this is. You got to tell me now. Or you say, we have this project we're working together. Have you seen anything, any risks, anything that seems tricky in this job that we should highlight? Are there database issues? Is it a new system? And say at the beginning of the story, new capability that doesn't exist. If this, I want this, right? Given this, I want this. Because it was interesting, the person started going right into Gerber and Gherkin, right? He's going to go, I'm going to start writing Gherkin right away. Really? You're going to start writing code right away? Developers should write code right away. It's like, because we did that Google thing way early days, where the Google interview questions are ask questions first. They want to know that you're going to ask other people on the team how you might accomplish this issue before you start answering a question. What they're looking for is how well you ask questions, right? There's a lot of PhDs out there, people with master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, even people without degrees who can code really well. But can they ask questions, right? That is key. So when you're in a BA interview and they're asking you to develop something, write something, ask some questions. Be inquisitive about what's going on. I think that would give you a better opportunity to win the job, but that's just me. But you got to ask questions, especially in a business analyst role, where that's what business analysts are supposed to do. You're supposed to ask questions, collect information, then write the answer down, what you interpreted from what you heard, and how well you translate that information into something that the development team can do, right? Just something I wanted to share with you from a job interview perspective. And there was another thing I wanted to add about job interviews. I forget what it was. Hi, Bubbles. I don't know. I can't remember now. Maybe I'll remember tomorrow and I'll give another job interview suggestion. Yeah, I'll figure it out because I'll watch the video and then it'll remind me and then I'll write it down on my book. So as usual, I write down the stuff in my book just to remind myself what my topics are. So again, doing a BA job interview, ask some questions. Ask some questions about the requirements. Ask like you would when you actually do the job. Now, where I see problems is I've seen BAs and product owners who act like they know everything. They know everything about the job and they say should be this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, wow, that's pretty ballsy of you. They assume that you know all the answers. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, so that's the BA job interview thing, and I'll watch the video and try to trigger off in my head with the other interview, and I'll add that tomorrow from an interview perspective. Now, my other thing that I want to talk about, status meetings on Mondays, and I put Mondays in the title. I find it amazing. This is why I like daily scrums. I like Scrum. I like the 15-minute. What do they do? Because here's the question. One of my old actually, I kind of work with the guy now. He taught me some of the safe stuff. And it's something he asked, and everybody says something. The question was, how much stuff can you really get done in a 2-week sprint or a 1-week sprint? Can you get a lot of stuff done? So I translate that down to a day, right? Daily scrums. How much stuff can you really or should get done in a day, right? It shouldn't be a lot, because you should be putting out good quality work that involves some things. There are some things you get done in a half day or you get done quickly, and it's a litany of stuff that just gets done. I would challenge you, maybe if it's that easy to get done, maybe you're doing too much administrative tracking, and anything that takes less than a half a day, I don't care. Okay. You know why? Because I don't want to have to track it. It's no value add, right? Only if that one thing gets translated to another person to use. So if you get something done and it's like less than a half day, the only time I really care is in that half day if it was useful for somebody else to take over and use it for something else. That's the only time anything less than a half day is worth tracking in the system. I guarantee you that. And this is my advice. So here's my thing about Mondays. Working on something. And one of the lead Agile coaches is like, calls a meeting on a Monday for a status report meeting, right? We're Agile coaches, right? He wants a status meeting. And I go up this meeting. I'm like, so you called this meeting not to give us new information about what we're working on or anything. You called this meeting to see how we're doing. And my thing in my brain was, we just ended phase 1 Friday. Today's Monday, and you want a status meeting, and you're calling, 6, 7, 8 people. Let's call 10 people just for the heck of it. Let's say we had 10 Agile coaches, and pays them so much an hour to sit in a meeting and talk about how each one are doing on their thing. And we just started, we're only half day into let's say a month-long endeavor. So you're calling a status meeting. Really? That's a pet peeve, right? I was pissed. I was like, if you just wanted that, why don't you just send an email? Please, can you let us know, and just send an email? You don't need to take a half hour out of our time or 15 minutes out of our time for that, right? But that's the beauty of Scrum. Get rid of the freaking status meetings, right? 15 minutes. What did you get done yesterday? I set up like 5 meetings, or I did this, or facilitated a group meeting yesterday. I don't need to tell you everything I do during a day. It goes to, we have in our coaching cohort, one of the things that the coach's coach talks about is your coaching stance and having trust in people have the capability and competency to do their job, and you have faith in that. Clearly, if you're calling a status meeting on the first day, a half day into the session for a status meeting, you have no faith in anybody to do anything in their job, and you're paying them a lot of money. It makes you think, right? But I just find it amazing. People want a status meeting on Mondays. God forbid Mondays. I mean, at least wait to midweek or something like that to actually get some stuff done. But even the status meetings, I'm like, I love daily scrums. Daily scrums are got one little thing done, boom, this is going over to so-and-so, and they have the information. That's it. That would be my daily scrum. Like today, they're doing some peer reviews, and I'm going to write down a little summary, a little brief outline, how I typically do these interviews with the teams on results for this thing we're doing. I'm going to write it out, and I'm going to share it with the Scrum Masters who now have to do this job that I did it for a couple other teams, just to give them an idea, some concepts, how I did it, so it gives them an idea where to start. That's it. That would be my daily Scrum. And that's something that got handed off to somebody else, and that's what I would talk about. That's it. Anyway, it is Tuesday. Another day. Hope you all survived your Monday. I barely did, because I was losing it for some of the stuff people were asking for a Monday. I'm like, it's Monday, and half the place is on holiday because of Indigenous Peoples Day or Columbus Day, depending on which way you want to celebrate it or do something. And the other half is like in the office or working. So there wasn't a lot of people done. So like, well, how much stuff do you really want to get done on this Monday? Anyway, I just thought it was funny. I just rolled my eyes. Anyway, thumbs up. Hope you have a great day. Happy scrumming. Ring the little bell so you know when we go live and put up stuff. Sorry I haven't put up much stuff over the weekend. Like I said, my scope creep was pretty large from painting the house. Still painting the house and cleaning the dust up. Have a great day. Happy scrumming. Enjoy your day. I hope your week goes well. And we will see you tomorrow in our daily 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Take care. Bye. See ya.